Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Apoorv Malik, and I welcome you all here in this webinar session being conducted by TNV Academy as the host of the day. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce our guest speaker for today's webinar, Mr. Ajay Bajpai. In this webinar today, Mr. Ajay Bajpai will discuss about role of lead auditor as per ISO 19011. Mr. Ajay Bajpai has audited several organizations for various management system standards and has helped several others for their implementation. Our distinguished speaker, Mr. Ajay Bajpai, has done his bachelor's in engineering in metallurgy stream. He is also a lead auditor in ISO 9001, 14001, 45001, 37001, 22000, 27001, 13485, 22301, and 50001 standards respectively. He has an industrial experience of around 15 plus years as implementer of management system standards and around 32 plus years in auditing and certification. He has been imparting training to a number of organizations, entrepreneurs, and individuals on various topics related to ISO terminologies and their certification and implementation. It was just a brief introduction of our guest speaker today. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Ajay Bajpai. I may request Mr. Ajay Bajpai now to please take over and start the webinar.
Thank you, Apoorv, another participant in this webinar. I welcome you for the discussion on to the role of lead auditor, which is one of the requirements for conducting of the management system auditing, and the reference as is we have been understanding in last webinars, and this also we will discuss. It's from ISO 19011, which is the Bible for all management system auditing and certification purposes. So we have a terminology called auditor and then lead auditor. In lead auditor courses, we understand that after qualifying the lead auditor examination, after attending the 40 hours of course, a candidate becomes auditor. Then he, after conducting few audits, as we have discussed earlier, he becomes observer, then auditor, and then finally he achieves the category of lead auditor. So lead auditor and team leader, these are the terms used by most of the training organization and certification bodies for second party audit, third party audit, and even in internal auditing it is equally important to understand who will be the team leader. Is he a qualified lead auditor or not? Has he achieved the category of lead auditor or not? So what is important to discuss here, that how he is going to become lead auditor and when he will become the team leader. So it is the team of the internal auditing management or the certification body, lead auditor selection and approval team. They will decide who will be leading the team, because in team there can be more than 2 auditors, there can be 3-4 auditors. So the person who is going to lead the team for a particular audit, he is called the lead auditor, or he is also called the team leader. So what is important here is how he is selected. Selection of lead auditor and his approval for a particular client for a particular audit is the key for the success of auditing to achieve the value addition out of the conduct of the management system audit. So when we are going to have a selection of this lead auditor, we need to understand what is the client process, what are the activities of the client who is going to be audited, what are the core processes he has, what are the critical processes he has, and what is the scope of the audit, what is the standard, what is the revision status of the standard, it is a single standard or it is a IMS. So all this needs to be decided when we are going to have the selection of lead auditor for the appointment for a particular audit, stage 1 audit, stage 2 audit, or in case of internal audit also the lot of team members are there into the team when it is a multinational multi-site organization. So we need to decide who is going to lead the team. So critical activity here is to understand the process of the client. A particular type of scope, a particular type of a process will require coding to be done. So there are codes which we have discussed earlier also. There are NACE codes, IF qualifications are there. There are categorization done for different kind of activities. So depending upon the what code is applicable for the client, whether he is into manufacturing, he is into service activity, he is into metallic manufacturing, not metallic manufacturing, he is a marketing organization. So with respect to the code allotted to the client activity and processes, the selection of lead auditor is taken reference from there. It is important because when the client's code and lead auditor qualification experience code matches, then an effective audit is conducted because both are on the same wavelength. The auditor understands the processes, he has the qualification related to that activity, he has the capability to conduct that kind of audit, he has conducted that kind of auditing in past. So he is a person who can add value in this kind of a situation where his code qualification is matching with the client code processes. So this is the background of the lead auditor selection, and then lead auditor will go on his move of conduct of audit. Let's go on. What are the desired results? What are the expectations when we are going to have a team leader or lead auditor? Certification body expectations. When a certification body is appointing a lead auditor to lead a team, they expect him to conduct an effective audit which will be meeting the objectives of the audit with respect to the stage of audit, with respect to the scope of audit, with respect to the stage of audit, and the mandate criteria will be completed and so on. And when he is going to take a feedback from the client, he expects a feedback will be positive, and client will say yes, the lead auditor and their team has added value to my operations of management system, implementation of my management system. Then accreditation board's expectation, AB expectation, when they are conducting the audit of certification body, when they are conducting the audit of a training organization for that matter, there is a lead trainer. In that kind of a situation, they expect the report should be meaningful. Report should be having the points as desired, as required. NC format should have been filled as a self-explanatory report. The entire report they expect should cover all the points as required by the ISO 19011 17021 and related and supported standard of the particular situation of the audit. So the expectations will be high from lead auditor because he is supposed to give a clear idea to via his report that yes, this is the situation of the management system implementation into this organization. Then expectation of the clients. Client has applied for certification. He is willing to go for a 19,001 or 14,001 certification. So he has expectations that yes, the team of auditors and the person who has started coordinating with him as lead auditor, the team leader, he is going to give us a report, the findings, the non-conformities, the observations, who will be adding value to their management system implementation, and their targets to achieve certification will be moving closer because as the NCs and observations are being raised from document review to stage 1 to stage 2 and after certification, they expect more value additions to be done from the audits conducted with the team of auditors who is headed by a experienced qualified lead auditor. So his expectations are very, very clear. He expects a value-added audit to be done. His directions towards the management system implementations are becoming more and more clear, more and more, the value additions are coming into the implementation. So he has very high expectations. So if a lead auditor is not meeting to those expectations of the clients, then the feedback given to the certification body will not be up to the mark. Then team members' expectations. In a team, there can be 3, 4 auditors who is led by a team leader, a lead auditor. So other audit members, team members, they have expectations from the team leader, yes, that he will explain us, he will guide us, so that ultimately when these 2 or 3 days of audit is completed, a report is prepared, they are supported by a good audit plan, good checklist, so that the team members can complete the audit effectively in time. Because in audit, the time is always a situation of a less time always into the audit, into the hands of the team members. So they expect the team leader to guide them appropriately, because he is the person who will be reviewing the situation in between, before lunch, after lunch, before the close of the first day, before the starting of the second day, and so on. So they have a lot of expectation from the lead auditor. Audit report quality. 2 or 3 members of the audit team, when they are going to complete the report and they are going to submit it to the client, the audit report quality depends upon how well it has been guided by the team leader and how he has supported his team members to confirm the NCs and observations, and finally a good report is coming out of the conduct of the audit. Then timely submission of the report. There are situations into third party auditing we have seen in last few decades that yes, at times the report submission is delayed. You see, the client has certain targets, certification body has certain targets. Everybody is moving with a particular target. That's yes, now the stage 1 is done, now the stage 2 is done. So now the report is ready. So now they have to move forward. So timely submission, timely completion of the report, by good guidance from the team leader, by good support from the team leader, is a critical activity, because everybody is expecting a timely submission of the report so that the certification process goes on. It does not take a break, because if it stops, there is a problem always. The continuity should be maintained. Then communication on the audit report. Sometimes lead auditor is getting some feedback from the client. They are supposed to give him some feedback on some of the non-conformity, major, minor, or observations kind of a situation where he wants some more inputs. So those communications are conducted by the team leader directly, sometimes with the client, but most of the time through the certification body. So that communication needs to be done and conducted by the team leader effectively. Then explanation on the audit reports as required. Once submitted, audit report will have some questions coming from the clients while submitting. When the client is preparing the evidences, he is going further into implementation. So there may be some queries from his part. There will be queries from the certification body, report review team. So the lead auditor will be in continuous touch with the team, and he need to give a lot of explanation at times, clarifications as and when required. So he is a key member into the certification process. So as and when more and more requirements are coming, more and more clarification explanations are coming, he need to provide them in time. So these are the desired expectations from the lead auditor, the team leader. Further getting into the lead auditor role, I have written auditor, lead auditor role, because what happens many times in a particular team, a team leader is there, there can be other lead auditors also who are equally or sometimes less or at par qualified with the team leader, but they play a role of auditor into the team, but their role is also of the similar, gravity, because they are also conducting a lot of independent audits as per the audit plan. So auditor, lead auditor role is equally important to that aspect. Lot of admin arrangements are required, when we are doing the planning of a audit, particularly third party audit. General coordination, availability, and the time management. When a certification body team from the contracting review and contract review and the further planning is going on, they will be getting in touch with the lead auditor and they will talk of some available dates and time, because we will be doing audits across the globe. So time management, availability, daytime, night time, morning time, evening time, all those are equally important. So this general coordination of the availability of the dates and time is very, very critical for the audit planning, which is the next point, the planning. So when certification body team is coming in contact with the team leader, which may be from the certification body team themselves or he may be a contracted auditors, then they have to form a team. So team formation is now going on. They have to select the team. For example, there is a client in Australia, Sydney. So where to get the team members from? If it is a physical audit, effort will be to select the team members who are more and more closer, to the client place from Sydney. So this is how the time management plan is going on. If it is in India, we are planning a audit in maybe the Agartala. So the auditor team management for a physical audit needs to be from the northeastern side of the country. So this is how the coordination with the team member is going on. The planning, a lot of further discussions will be there when we get into the travel plan. The team leader is supposed to, develop the audit plan, maybe with the support of other audit team members or independent, depending upon the situation and the scope of the audit and his code availability with him. So he need to develop a audit plan and checklist also, which needs to be shared with the team members so that an effective audit can be conducted, where the time management is a key factor always. He has to conduct a lot of coordination with the team members while getting into this planning activity into the admin arrangement area. There can always be involvement of observer into the audits. When under training auditors are there, they work as an observer. So how to take care of the observer, how to see that observer is behaving as an observer. So the team leader will take care of that. Then how much, where to involve, how to take feedback at times from the observer, all that are the key decision by the team leader. Many times we have technical experts into the team. When the team is consisting of members where the code competence is not there, then certification body team will be selecting a technical expert who will be giving input to the team members for the effective technical requirement of the scope, the processes, the products, the services, and so on. So involvement of technical expert, it is the team leader who ensures that yes, effective utilization is done, how to utilize him, whether to take him into what kind of processes, where the other team member do not have expertise, because the code competence is with the technical expert on first day, second day, third day, first half, second half, first shift, second shift. But the IMS audit, shift audit is going on, OSAS, EMS is there, FSMS audit is on. So in which shift to be utilized, utilization of technical expert to be done. All this is taken with the help of team leader and the certification body team. So involvement of T decided, suggested, taken care by the team leader. Involvement of AB members, accreditation board members. When in case where witness audits are going on, team leader has got most of the responsibility of how to move ahead with the accreditation board members who are there for the witness of the audit as per the audit plan, as per their schedule, as per their movement, which area, which accreditation board member will go with which auditor, whether T will be there or not. So all this coordination is effectively conducted by the team leader. So his role is very, very critical for administrative arrangement as well. Then we go further. Travel plan is another very critical activity when we are into a situation of cross-country audits, multinational units, various cities, various towns are involved, or even within the same city, same town, they have to travel. The travel arrangement, the client, the certification body team, the key point of contact will be the lead auditor, because everybody and anybody will not be coordinating from the team. It will be difficult for client and CB team to understand. Then there are arrangements like outstation audits, hotels, guest house arrangements. The key person is the team leader. Food arrangements, type of food. It is the team leader who understands how many vegetarians, how many non-vegetarian audit team members are there. So accordingly, he will be having a communication coordination with the client MR or client team coordinator, so that the audit team, the board members, whosoever are there into the entire group of audit team, this certification process of stage 1 or stage 2, they are all comfortable with the arrangements. Then there are pick up and drop arrangements on first day, second day, third day. Sometimes there are situations where auditors are staying in different guest houses, different hotels, not in the same place. So all this coordination, all this is the key person again is the lead auditor. Then pre-audit meetings of the audit team members. We are going to have a 3 days of audit. 4 team members are there. So the team leader will be conducting the a pre-audit meeting with the team member, so that he can brief them, because he was there before, he has seen the documents earlier, he was into stage 1 audit, and now we are in the stage 2 audit. So he will be briefing the details within the team of the auditors. Then internal meetings are going on in between of the audits also, in the beginning of the audits also. So he is coordinating all these situations with the technical expert utilization, his involvement with other team members. He also has in hand the previous audit report. Now we are in stage 2 audit, or say for example we are into a recertification audit. So the last surveillance audit report is available with the team leader. He is going to discuss with the team members that these are the areas which were of concern, these are the areas where non-conformities were under action in last surveillance audit, and so on. So the team comes on the same wavelength. What are the critical actions taken by the client? Some submissions have been done. He is aware of that. So he will be discussing in details of the what are the actions done, pending actions. Sometimes there are some future actions required. So he will be discussing all those details with the team members. So now these admin arrangements are done. So now comes the communication part. We always believe that most of the communication is conducted by the lead auditor. He is the key for the communication, because communication done by other team members unnecessarily will create a situation where a clear-cut guideline will not be available for the client, and he will not be able to coordinate well. So if the key communication member is the lead auditor, always best for the audit situation, and we always prefer and we always believe that, as per the requirement of the management system certifications and the requirement of the certification process. So he is the person who is communicating with the certification body, the CB, in the beginning, in the middle of the process, at the end of the audit, and maybe onwards as per the requirement. He is the key person communicating with the client. He is the one who is communicating with all team members. He is guiding all team members on key aspects of the auditing. He is the person who is also guiding and communicating with the observer. He will explain him the role of observers. He has gone through the training process, but coming to training, taking the training, and actually conducting the audits, there are different situations. So when it is a practical auditing going on, he has to communicate with the observer and explain him his role adequately. He also communicates with the technical expert, because we have seen in experience many technical experts start conducting the audits. Sometimes, they are also human beings. So they also feel, yes, oh, audit is going on. They start participating into the audit. So, but it's the team leader who explain them their role, that they are not supposed to conduct the audit. Their job of team expert is to give input to the audit team members as and when required and as and when necessary and to the extent required. So he communicates with the technical expert. He also communicates with the accreditation board team member, because he knows what kind of feedback is to be given, how to, you know, do the communication of audit plan, how to communicate the non-conformity at the drafting situation, at the finalization with the accreditation board member. So he is the key into the communication situation with all the respective parties that discussed. Then what we do, we go to the opening meeting. Now we have done the preparation part is done, admin travel all arrangements done. Now the audit team members have reached the client site. So team leader will be the master of ceremony, as we say always. He is the key person to conduct the opening meeting. So he will be the one who will be first introducing the certification body there. That yes, we are here on behalf of TNV certification private limited for the conduct of maybe FSMS audit. So, and he will say thank you to the client team for selection of TNV as their registrar as a certification body. Then he will give the introduction of team member, because he is in the command. He would have seen the biodata, the CV, the details of his team members. So he gives the introduction of his team members. Sometimes he may ask team members also to introduce himself, but in principle, it is the team leader who is going to give the introduction of his team members. He will also ask for the introduction of client team members. He will, after his part of introduction of the team is over, he will ask the client team members to introduce themselves briefly. He knows that yes, so he explained that please explain in brief. Then if accreditation board team is there, we will also invite the accreditation board team members to introduce themselves, so that they are going to be there with the whole team for next 2-3 days. So we all should know each other as a part of the audit activity. So he invites accreditation board team members also to introduce them and their purpose. Then he explains the purpose of the audit visit and stage of the audit into the opening meeting. That yes, this is a 9001 2015 standard audit for stage 2. And he explained them clearly that yes, we are here for this particular objective. Stage 1 has been completed, and he explained them the, maybe depending upon the situation, the previous audit points also. And then he will explain that yes, what is the scope of the audit applied for, as he has formed and confirmed into the stage 1. But he can always again ask and confirm, yes, if any changes are required, if any additions are required. It may happen at times. So he will take a confirmation of the scope of the audit into the opening meeting itself. Then he will explain the audit plan. This is the time he will explain there are team members, 3 team members into the audit of today, tomorrow, and day after, and these are the various department functions will be conducting. Of course, the audit plan is already shared with the client, but he will always, reconfirm it of the availability of the client team members. If somebody is not available at a particular day or a particular first half or second half or in a particular A, B, C shift items, the shifts are going to be audited. So he will reconfirm it with the audit team members. So this is all in details he will confirm. Also, he will confirm other things like confidentiality and all. That's his role again. As per the 19,001 standard, all those points are definitely covered, and he is the key person to conduct the opening meeting. So we have discussed so far the requirement into the discussion today, that as per 19,011, the lead auditor role, the key is the lead auditor, but there can be other team members also into the auditor who can also be the lead auditor. But now we are talking of team leader as a lead auditor, and his selection is very important with respect to the client process, the client's activities, and the code of the client, so that an effective and value added audit can be conducted. Then we have discussed the expectations of the certification body, accreditation board, the expectation of the clients, expectation of the team members, and he is the person who is going to, finally develop the final report for the communication with the audit and other team members and with the CB. So his role is important for the development of a sharing of a good report. And then we have discussed the arrangements into the auditing. A lot of admin arrangements are required, as we discussed. He is the person who is going to involve the entire team so that an effective and positive, audit can be conducted, so that the results are as required by the auditing and management system standard. Then we have discussed the expectation. We have done the admin arrangements. A lot of travel arrangement, travel coordinations are also required to be done. Hotel pickup arrangements, internal meetings, previous audit reports for the conduct of good audit, so that whatever pending points are there, they are known to the team members, and they go on for effective conduct of stage 2 or any certification or surveillance audit. Then we further go into the communication of the entire process by the lead auditor, the team leader. He is going to communicate with the entire team member, the certification body, the observer, the technical expert, the accreditation board members, and so on. So he is the person who is guiding with a good communication skill of it, which he has developed into last many years with his experience. Then he is going to conduct an effective and impressive opening meeting, because that is the point where from it will be decided the direction of the management system implementation. We have seen in experience that an organization who was not very comfortable with the certification process sometimes, and they were saying, oh, how will be certification will be done, how the audit will be conducted, and so on. But it is the experienced team leader who makes them comfortable into a good and positive opening meeting, and the next 2-3 days of the audit goes on comfortably with the audit team members. So these are the key points I thought I will discuss, and I have summarized that. We can also go for the further discussion into the certification body links, which we have here further. What happened? Yeah, these are the links for certifications, where we have got websites which are very informative and detailed. One can go and study these websites and find out more and more details, and you can ask us further questions after the conduct of this webinar also, that Apur will explain you. Thank you, Apur. If anybody has any questions, you can ask.
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah.
Sir, say suppose an auditor's behavior or the work which he performed during the audit for a certification body, the certification body is not satisfied with the findings or maybe the behavior of the auditor during the audit. So, is there any provision in ISO 19 or 001 that whether the certification body can raise a complaint or their observation against the auditor?
You see, this keeps on happening at times when the auditor is not fully trained or he had not understood the requirements. So there has been situations that many auditors have not continued their auditing for a couple of months or couple of years till they have improved upon. There's always a system of feedback from certification body, which they are doing on a continual basis. Every certification body has got a complaint and appeal system, which the lead auditor will explain to the client, which is as per 19,011 and 17021, that they will give a feedback onto the performance of the audit team and audit team members. So according to the feedback, the certification body will take actions, and there are actions taken sometimes. Yeah, and they are also shared with the auditors, and
Thank you
some
so much, sir.
auditors
If
take it
any of the other
positively.
participants has any questions, they can please ask. If the
Hello.
participant, yes, sir.
Yeah. If nobody has a question, then you can go on. There was a silence in between, so I thought, yeah.
Definitely. So if the participants do not have any question as of now, they always have an option to place those questions on the video of this particular webinar, which will be uploaded on our YouTube channel, and we will be passing on those questions to Mr. Ajay Bajpai, and definitely he will be very happy answering them. So we can now come to the conclusion of this session, and I would say that we are so much glad that we have been benefited by the knowledge shared by Mr. Ajay Bajpai on a very good terminology and complex terminology, which is not mostly understood by certification bodies and even by the auditors as well. I would also say with much confidence that our participants must have enjoyed the context of today's webinar, and it will be definitely add value to their expertise and domain of work. Surely we will be coming up with such more topics on which you have so much interest in the field of ISO terminologies and concepts. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, Mr. Ajay Bajpai, on behalf of TNV Academy, for giving your valuable time and accepting our invitation to be the guest speaker for today. I also thank all the participants for taking out time from their busy schedule and joining us in the webinar today. I hope
We
to
will
see you all.
continue. Yeah, we will continue with the lead auditor session further because we have only completed up to opening meeting. We'll go on further into the next webinar. Yeah.
Exactly, sir. So we will again see you with the same topic in our next session, as just said by Mr. Ajay Bajpai. Till then, I wish you all best of luck on behalf of TNV Academy for your future endeavors. Thank you so much for your time.